I have a donation deck request from JFWW in the Discord, aka Liquid Genro. We're gonna rebuild and play Legacy 8Mulch in a league. And I guess to talk about it a little bit, 8Mulch is like lands, except you sacrifice some of the flexibility for basically more explosive engine cards. Like 4 Manabond, you play a bunch of, like, basically more card drawers like Mulch and Winding Way. The problem is, well, mostly the problem is sacrificing flexibility for speed leads to a lot of issues when you play against someone who's trying to also do the same thing as you, but has like the ability to pivot in a more flexible situation. What I mean by that is, well, I guess what's the best way of putting it? Okay, like basically, if the mana bonds, if like going faster is not actually what you want, the deck kind of isn't great. But if what you want is going faster or like going over the top of someone, then deck is pretty good. That's how I should put it. So that's a short explanation, and then we'll get into rebuilding the deck real quick. Do want to shout out everyone being here. Oh, hi Sahar. Just noticed the follow. Hope you're having a good one. But basically, there's a bunch of cards in the deck that I don't think you're allowed to cut. Personally, I would never play these decks without 4 stage 4 depths. And I was thinking about this. I might just play very little main deck removal and just play a bunch of Mazavets instead. But you need to actually flush it out. And the other question is, what colors do you want to play? In the past, people played red-green. You could also play like Simic, or guess I'm trying to think if there's any real reason to play Golgari. Not particularly. And you could be Selesnya for sideboard cards mostly. But just there's a lot of things to think about. Alright. I want to play at least 2 Yavimaya. Card's really, really good. It lets all of your colorless lands tap for mana, which is kind of a big deal. I think Maze is probably where I want to be at. So this is a lot of colorless lands. I'm probably only going to play 2 Field of Dead, maybe 3. Fields do stack well, multiples. I think it might be like a 36 land, 24 spell sort of situation. I have to think about it, but we'll see where we're at in a bit. This is a lot of colorless lands though. Alright. Cards that are not negotiable. Exploration. Manabond. Mulch. There's a lot of printings of Mulch, but Rebecca Gway is kind of the goat Mulch. Hope is the one crop that can grow in any climate. Life from the Loam. And crop rotation. So past that, you probably don't need to play. Well, I guess you could play removal. This is 1. Oh wait, I somehow only clicked 2 Manabond. I want 4 Manabond currently. It's possible that you want less than 4, but it's kind of hard to think about. So basically you're mono green in the main deck currently, but you could very easily splash a color. Alright, how many colorless lands do I want? The answer is probably not too many, but you have to play, well, I think you have to play 1 copy of the Tabernacle with Pendril Veil and 1 copy of Blast Zone. The cards are kind of irreplaceable and do something very unique for the deck. And what you get out of weird situations. And I want to play some number of forests. Probably, well, at least, it might be 2 forests. And it's kind of debatable what colors you want. Like, there's a lot of room to play like 11 more lands, and the debate is what should they be and what do you want your sideboard color to be. So there's a lot to think about there in terms of just building the deck. I guess what I can do is look to see if someone has played the deck recently and if they have a reasonable version of the deck. I'll look real quick. Answer kind of looks like people haven't played this deck for a while. Okay. I'm looking through Goldfish. Sometimes it's useful just to look to see if there's some idea you personally missed, even though I think generally I'm pretty good at figuring things out, you know. Oh, probably want Bajuka Bog and Caracas. Oh, there's a lot of printings of Bajuka Bog. Holy moly. You know what I should do? Turn off the foil versions, personally. Why are there so many printings of Bajuka Bog? It's kind of crazy. What deck would I recommend for someone who hasn't played Legacy? I think if you really want to learn the format from the beginning, I would start with basically some sort of Izzet Delver deck. Because what that'll do is it'll teach you a lot of the fundamentals of the format. And the deck is pretty resilient and pretty powerful, is how I would put it. Alright, so we have green. Do I want to splash red? Do I want to splash a different color? You can also play 4 field, 3 depths, but it depends on what you expect. If you expect basically no combo, then you could just play 4 fields and like a very small number of dark depths. But I like having the ability to just win out of nowhere, personally. You own Death and Taxes, but you don't like playing it. Red Person seems fun. I mean, Red Person's pretty good. Turbo Depths? That's not really a friendly deck for people who are new to the format, because there's a lot of like calculated risk going on with that deck. Alright. Right, this person is close to what I want. Although they have... They're splashing white and black. Probably don't want to do that personally. Well, soft gnome, it kind of says what we're building at the bottom, right? You love Manabond? Alright. The question is, in my mind, what color to play? What's the second color you should play here, if you should play second color? That's what I'm trying to answer right now. Alright. I think it's going to be red, but I don't feel strongly about it. Two Taiga. Stomping around. One thing I really wish this deck had was a red-green canopy land. I think that would significantly improve the deck. I mean, there's merits to playing blue And I think there's merit to playing white. I don't think there's really merit to playing black. Ottawa and Flusterstorm. Okay. I'll just say this right now. I think Flusterstorm is one of the most overrated cards in Magic, just generally speaking. So I'm not really pro that, personally. Like, in my mind, blue, if you want to play blue, the more appealing cards are like... Blue, like, Hydroblast is pretty appealing in some regards. And I think something like Ipnu Rivulet is actually pretty appealing. Is the correct way of saying it for me. But obviously your experience might differ. It's just my personal opinion. Alright, do I want to play Summer of Ghost Quarter? I think I might play like 2 Ghost Quarter. Well, the question is, do I have enough colored sources? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11 green sources for a bunch of green cards, which is probably not enough. So the question is, how many of these colorless lands do I actually need? I want to get to like 14 or 15 green sources if possible. Because I think 14 is minimum, and ideally it would be 15 or 16. So the question is, how many of these colorless lands do I actually need? I guess maybe the 4th maze can go. So another... I guess I'll play 1 Horizon Canopy. Canopy is pretty good with Manabond, just generally speaking. 8Mulch generally doesn't play Mox Diamond, and let me explain why. With Field of the Dead, like, doing that doesn't really do anything. Like, it kind of just doesn't do anything to play Mox Diamond when you have Field of the Dead. I mean, obviously it's not 100%, you know. Like, there are obviously situations where you would want Mox Diamond for the extra acceleration. But basically, when you have Mulch and Winding Way, adding every non-land, non-engine card has a significant cost, because that is just reducing the expectation of how many cards you'll hit off of Mulch. You know? Like, basically, you want to have as many lands as possible. I think you want to have as many green sources as possible, because at the end of the day, you're basically a mono-green deck in Game 1. Of course, Mox Diamond does flush numbers for colored sources a reasonable amount. It's like basically a rainbow source. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12. Really want to get in at least 2 more green sources. I don't really like Boseiju Who Endures, but I might still play it. It mostly doesn't work great with Manabond is the issue, but I guess the first Boseiju is kind of free. And you see it a lot more often because of Mulch and Winding Way. Note, crop rotating for Boseiju doesn't really do anything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Really want the last land to be a green source if possible. Let's see, is there any other good green utility land I can play? Lair of the Hydra is not unreasonable, but I think mostly not great. Well, I don't really want to play Grove here. If I had like sideboard Punching Fire, I might consider it, but it doesn't seem like I really want it. And the reason to play 1 Stomping Ground is for the Field of the Dead thing as well. Like, basically, most of the lands have different names, except for Dark Depths, Stage, Field of the Dead, Maze of Ith, Wasteland, Yavimaya, but I think there's a lot of different names as it is. Usually works out. Continuing to look at other lists for inspiration to see if I'm missing something. sideboard Glacial Chasm is something that's probably more reasonable than it has ever been before, but probably don't want to do that personally. Don't think it does enough is the actual issue. Alright, I'm gonna continue to look a little bit more. Yeah, I could. I'm not sure how many Canopy lands I want, but maybe I will just run one Waterlogged Grove. There's a Tabernacle here. You don't need a second Tabernacle, really. Like, there are situations where a second tab would be good, but I think they're rare enough that you don't really need to do it. I guess I'll just run this, and with regards to sideboard, generally what is an issue is that in a lot of post-board games, you want, like, anti-combo stuff, essentially. That's basically the soft spot for a deck like this, because as you can tell, what your main deck is so dedicated to doing is just trying to outfare everyone that I think you should just sideboard a bunch of combo hate. I like Flame Jab, personally, as well. So I like Mindbreak Trap. I don't like Sphere Resistance as much in a deck like this, because the problem with Sphere is you don't have an Ancient Tomb, and you can't turn one it. Chalice of the Void's not unreasonable, actually, but if I were playing Chalice, I would mostly Chalice on 0. So I think I'm going to play a split of Mindbreak Traps and Collector Oofs as anti-combo, essentially. I think Oof is really, really good, and it doesn't affect you anymore. In that vein, I like Flame Jab. I will play some number of Force of Vigor. Probably like 2 Force of Vigor, maybe a third. Maybe 3 is good. You could theoretically justify Endurance or Rebs. I'm thinking about that. The problem, one of the major issues I have with Endurance mostly is that, what's the best way of putting it? Well, the biggest issue I have with Endurance is that it's not actually great versus a lot of the fast combo. And it also isn't that great versus Murktide Regent decks, generally speaking, because it's kind of easy for them to rebuild. And actually what happens in that matchup is I'm more scared of Price of Progress or like Magus of the Moon from them. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I don't think I'm going to play Endurance. I might play Leyline of the Void, actually, or some like hard graveyard hate like that. Like an actual hammer is how I should put it. Maybe the trick is for Leyline of the Void. You can theoretically hardcast in this deck, but that's not really what Leyline is for in these decks. So maybe... Well, the problem with Chasm versus Price of Progress is if they also have like Max of the Moon or Blood Moon, it doesn't really do anything. And also, like, when I played Izzet Delver versus these decks, I think it's very easy to save one Wasteland sometimes for Price of Progress. But, you know. With regards to Ghost Quarter, I could see playing exactly one. Deep Root Wayfinder seems not very good. That's like the opposite of what I want. It's possible I want to cut one more colorless land for a Ghost Quarter. That's the question. I really don't want to cut a green source. I think that's just asking for trouble if you cut a green source for Ghost Quarter. I like Blast Zone, but maybe it hasn't aged well. Maybe Blast Zone is the cut, actually. Nurturing Peatland? Oh, sure. Yeah, that's probably... Well, that's obviously correct. I don't think hardcasting it really comes up. This is like a very corner case scenario. Because, like, think about it this way. Versus what graveyard deck are you going to have time to hardcast Leyline of the Void versus them? But it is not 0, you know? Alright, Ghost Quarter. I think I want the Ghost Quarter. I think I want one Ghost Quarter, because the value over replacement of it is just very, very, very high. 4th Depths? Maybe. I really like having 4 Depths, it's just the way I play Magic. Depths is just such a good buyout versus, like, people doing bullshit. I guess I'll cut 1 Depths. I really hate to do it. I don't really want to cut a Field of the Dead, because I think that's too important versus, like, every Source of Posture's deck. Realm Walker seems extremely bad to me. Or Realm Breaker, rather. Is it even that fun? Like, it doesn't even seem that fun to me, frankly. I don't think Plague Engineer is necessary, because I'm not worried about people playing small ball creature magic versus me. Spider Ham. Like, that's not the issue. In the mirror? Well, that's not what the mirrors are about. The mirrors are about engineering, like, harder than that, and about, like, bogging their bog or whatever, you know? Alright, I think I'm gonna play a few Pyroblasts. 2 Pyroblasts and 1 Red Elemental Blast. Oops, this goes here. It's 2 Mindbreak Trap, 2 Collector Oof kind of MTG. You need to group the cards together. It's not just 2 and 2, it's like a total of 4. And depending on the Storm deck, I would also side in Blast, or Leyline, or Force of Vigor. Two plus 2 equals 4, yes, indeed. Anyways, these are just the thoughts I have. Obviously, it could be off base, but I think this is a good starting point for the Dono deck. I think, like, basically this is in, like, acceptable parameters, acceptable bounds. And it's basically doing the thing that you want to do with the deck. I really wish there was, like, another good utility land we could play that actually does something. I'm just checking real quick. Someone played Valakut Exploration in this deck, which is not unreasonable. People have played Fling, but I think once you have Field of the Dead, you don't need to play Fling. I think the Shadow matchup is still good. I know Grove is good for Shadow. I've won a lot of matches, but you would have to play like 4 Groves. What do we want a land to do? I would like a land to sphere my opponent. What about Minx? Minx is reasonable, but I don't think you need another grindy card in a deck that's already designed to grind. Like, you have 3 Field of the Dead and like 12 card drawers. So I don't really buy it. It's actually possible that you could shave 1 life from the Loam in a deck like this. Which sounds like heresy, but honestly, that's not unreasonable. You know? Yeah, I don't really believe in Minx in a deck like this, personally. Alright. What's up, Carillion? I always have problems saying that name. Alright, we're gonna play this. taken some input in and decided what I want to do. I'm always open to new ideas, but I think something that people do is they don't really like giving reasons, you know, which I'm a fan of. I would like reasons for things, generally speaking. I also think there are bottleneck in a lot of these games is just green mana. So, also I think Minx is not that easy to cast if you actually work out the math, but we'll see. At most, I would play like one Minx, personally. White Splash, Deafening Silence, Swords to Plowshares, Thalia are the standout cards in my mind. Those are basically the standout cards in my mind. Pardon more, I think Loam's already kind of sketch as it is in this deck, that I think adding more ways to find Loam doesn't really do much. I have played Entombed Lands before, but it was also when Lurrus was illegal, and that deck was really strong, but I'm not really about it anymore. I don't think it really does enough. I don't even think Gamble's good, really, so that's kind of where I'm at. Can someone tell me if the Decklist updated? We'll see if this happens. The other issue is Legacy Leagues are usually just infested with combo. Yes, leagues are noise. That is not irrelevant. Okay. Predictions up. Without Cradle? You mean Tabernacle? You have to play Tabernacle. Like, it's not really debatable. I'm sorry to say that. People have asked me that since, like, 2015. And basically, you always have to play the first Tabernacle because its value over replacement is... its value over replacement is basically close to infinite. Like, it's not a replaceable card. It's just your Wrath of God in a deck. It is such a unique effect. How's this list versus TNT? If you played 4 field, it would be even better, but I think generally that 8Mulch is pretty good versus TNT. I usually just sandbag the Manabond until it makes like 15 tokens or whatever. Like, playing the Manabond out early is a good way to lose versus them. But basically, Field of the Dead, basically... They're not designed to beat 15 zombie tokens or whatever, you know? I'm obviously exaggerating a little bit, but that's generally what happens in the matchup. Alright, here we go. Round 1. Am I playing in the upcoming Pro Tour? No, I did not even really come close to qualifying. I was 6-5 at RC San Diego. I did start 2-3 and I finished 6-3 to squeak in. But, you know, wasn't good enough. Anyways, if you all appreciate what's going on here, wow, I even added green sources to my deck, but this is a pretty easy mulligan. My deck is trolling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have more green sources than most people do, but... Any hot draft tips? Draft a low curve. Okay, this is fine. I'm gonna bottom this. This probably. Yeah, low curve I think is the most important thing that can't be understated really. If I draw a Loam, it's pretty good. Mulch is also good. I think I'm gonna sandbag the Manabond actually. It's only bad versus King Thoughtseize. Oh, it's Boyd? Well, maybe I'll just message him later and tell him basically everything I think, but Boyd has not had the strongest draft performances, is what I would say. Couple strikes, sure. Okay. I'm going to just get the Stomping Ground tapped. Stomping Ground should actually give a lot of information about what my deck's trying to accomplish, because not many decks play Stomping Ground. Oh yeah, I remember Pro Tour Oath of the 8Mulch. Deck's trolling. Wait, I don't have Notepad++ open. Anyways, happy Friday. If you all want to support this stream, what you can do is hit that bell button. That's free to do and does help support the stream. And if you really want to support the stream, consider using a Twitch Prime sub here. Sultai pile. Okay. I think generally these matchups are pretty good, so I'm not too worried. But we'll see what happens. Fortunate. Okay. I'm just going to tax their mana for a bit. You can target them with Bog. It doesn't have them draw. Oh no, it says you are permanent. Right. Never mind. If I Bog them, it'll be after I Crocus their thing. Sorry. Let me correct what I said. Alright, they push tricks. I'm probably going to Crocus this. Basically, all I need time is for a Field of the Dead or something. And just hope that I'm not dead. I think I'm just going to give them a card and gain some tempo. But I also don't really need to Bog them until like Uro's in the graveyard or something like that. Okay. Do I want to cycle one of these lands? Probably not. I think I'm going to play the Depths out in case if I draw Stage. Because usually these decks are soft to Lage as well. I mean, obviously they can block with the Strix or whatever. Well, if the Manabond resolved, I would just Karakas the we will then Bog them, Stompy Robo. I don't think it would have been an issue. You know? Okay. This game's going nowhere fast. The song's a banger, though. Remember, this is my 5-card hand, and the game's still kind of close. Like, it just kind of proves... Like, they probably have a bunch of removal in their hand that doesn't do anything. Because the way the deck is built, there are no targets for removal. See, like, they drew dead cards, and that's the advantage of not putting creatures in your deck. Alright. I think these can go. I mean, I did say that they are combo, but I think it's just better. This doesn't actually stop this Chain of Smog shit. Flame Jab's okay to have one of. I think I might cut Blaststone for another Flame Jab. And just call it a day. Gonna keep. I think the plan is actually just fetch Forest and play Manabond and say go. 8Mulch? I probably wouldn't even play that. Like, it's not even good to put more mulches in your deck. I think 8's probably the limit. I don't think they have Wasteland in that deck. Okay. Belfast was pitched. Am I winning? No, I'm down a game. Because they're Witherbloom, Apprentice, Sultai pile. If they have Chain of Smog, I'm dead, but so be it. Bro. Mind Break doesn't work. Yeah, they're just copied. Alright, fine, whatever. I mean, this matchup seems fucking heinous. I don't have any Punching Fires in my deck. But if I had Punching Fire, the matchup would be a lot better. In game 1, I think I just ran kind of bad, honestly. Like, not to make excuses. Obviously, I made a few mistakes, but I think generally, like, it's hard to overcome what happened in game 1. Also, if they didn't have Fawn for my Manabond in game 1, I think I still would have been actually ahead. But, you know, that's how it is. Also, thanks for everyone being here on this Friday. If you appreciate the stream, hit that follow button. That's free to do, does help support the stream. I'm doing okay. Doing fine. Wow, this person has 9 trophies and Builder Burn has 3. I mean, I think they play red Stompy, so it's easy to get a lot of matches in. Chalice Olu. That's fine. I think I'm gonna just ship second fetch, probably. What happened to Dark Depths? They had Witherbloom Apprentice into Chain of Smog, so I was dead. I don't have any Punching Fire, so I can't really punish that. Like, basically, You don't want to play against a deck that has like a compact combo that's fast and all the basics. I'm gonna play around Stifle and just get my basic forest. Actually, I should have just passed because of days, but that's okay. That was kind of a punt. See what happens. Yeah, that was actually a huge punt, I think. Okay. Okay. I think I'm going to discard Peat Land. I don't think I'm ever going to play that land out this game. Revealed another days, that's fine. I think now what I really want, if I draw Accelerants, they're the best possible draws for me. Like, that's really good, actually. So if they have double days, I think I still play it. If this gets dazed, if it gets like double days, that's fine. If it got single days, it wouldn't be so fine, but they might force. If they force, I just play my maze out to prevent damage. It's fine. Okay, also fine. So I have days and 2 unknowns. Okay, so the last card's days. What do I want to do this turn? I think this is correct, actually. So I'll take 3, but they only have a days. I don't really want to... If I play crop rotation now, well, there's a lot of bad things that could happen, but... Basically, taking 3 is fine, taking 7 is not. I want to dredge Loam. I think I would rather draw an Accelerant. It's a lot better, yeah. Okay. Probably just want to get a second maze, honestly. Can also get a stage. Oh, they had Spell Pierce? Guess I can't even pay for it, actually. It's fine. Probably Bog. I just have to bog myself. I'll maze that. They'll have to tap 2 lands. Their last card is Daze. I think I'm still fine as long as nothing else bad happens to me. If I bog them, it grows that, which puts me to 2. Maybe I just have to take that risk. I guess maybe I just have to pretend they don't draw a waste. Okay, guess I have to bog them, yeah. It's not really, so that's fine. I'm just gonna waste immediately. Because if they draw a Brainstorm, I don't want them to have access to the mana. So their best draw is literally Wasteland. Oh, they didn't even attack? Let's see. How many of these do I want to pay for? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I tap 5 of these. I guess I'll pay for 3, but not the other ones. Okay. Conceded. It's fine. So these are good. This is fine. I think this is a scenario where you don't need all of your field odets, but having one is nice. Like shaving 2 rotation here, but not all of them. The zombies are basically irrelevant. I think it's fine to, it's good to keep some, but not all of them. I think you want enough so you can loam and have like defense against, or like just start attacking them. But I was gonna waste lock them, I think, there. So it's gonna be fine. I could, actually I just want both flame jabs and cut. Probably just cut a loam, honestly. Because people love to like fight over loam a lot. It is weird that they conceded there, yeah, but... I think I might just bottom the depths. It's field or depths. It might just be field, actually. I'll just bottom the field. I want to keep both Manabonds because there's a pretty good chance that one of them is going to get countered, and I'm fine just running it into a counter with this hand. Then having the second one is a good follow-up. Just if I waste them now. bad if they have a waste, but I can always draw land. I think I'm not actually going to waste them this turn. I just want to play around getting wasted for exactly one turn, but next turn, like, it'll probably... Okay, so, I mean, this doesn't really work. This is like... Well, also, this is other reason I didn't waste, because I thought there was something weird happening. But basically, cycling lands are really good at protecting your Loam from surgical. Alright. Then the player draw that first game. What was on the draw? Izzet Delver. Win-win. On the scoreboard. Supposed to bottom depths. I think it's close, honestly, but... Let's chat. Y'all are real ones? Or 1-1? I think generally you're more likely to beat them with Dark Depths than you are with Field of the Dead in the matchup as well. Lysurg is the other reason I bottomed Field instead of Depths, but of course it's not free either way. I mean, my suspicion was when they went to 5, it was very likely that they had Graveyard Hate, right? Nameless. This is person play. I think it used to... I think they might be a combo one trick. Ant. I guess I keep. I mean, none of my hands actually beat combo in game 1, unless they have crop rotation, and they're exactly a graveyard deck, but if they're not combo, this hand's pretty good. This is sort of one of my issues with Mulch in general is, well, just with lands in general, combo matchups are kind of shit, and it's not really fixable, generally. I mean, of course you can, like, mulligan a bunch and try to be okay. Oh, is it Reanimator? Might be Reanimator instead. The 61 card Reanimator is a weird one. Did you? Are you gardening? If so, what are you growing? Wasn't enough? So it was Home Depot, I assume. Co-auditor viewers. Also, Ryan, good to see you. I saw that photo you posted. Koval's pretty cool. Koval's girlfriend's pretty cool. I see Chris and Reed fucking rule, so... Right, this hand got really good. It's a good time. Sweet. Love to hear it. Let's see if they're a Reanimator, I guess. Or something similar. My hand's pretty good versus Thoughtseize decks, generally. I haven't seen Chris in a while. But obviously good times all around. Wait. Played one land. I guess I just put them in check. This is better than casting Loam for basically no reason. Nice. Got a free one there. Alright, my suspicion is it's Reanimator. So I'm going to board as though it's Reanimator. So cards I don't like are these. Don't really like Blast Zone either. I like Force of Vigor. I like these. I'm gonna cut 2 Loams and a Winding Way. Oh, Missy's a weird one? I guess it could be like A&T or something like that. I guess if it's A&T, I would rather have Collector Oof. Maybe I'll just put Oofs in as a spec. Actually, Meyer Oof is more likely to be A&T. Especially with the Thoughtseize in the mix. Okay, I'll go down to 1 maze. I think it's actually A&T, now that I think about it more. So I'm gonna set these in, cut all my mazes, cut. Okay. I'm gonna pretend it's Storm, essentially. You don't need so many grindy cards versus them. Like, you can go way down. I guess, like, the last cut is probably, like... one crop rotation. It's possible I don't need the ley lines, actually. Okay, here's what I'm actually going to do. This goes in, and just try to mize. Because I'm not actually sure, but we'll find out. I have an A&T feeling, honestly. This is one issue with Mindbreak Trap and shit versus them, but... I could have mulligan for Oof, but the problem is I only have 2 Oofs first off, and second off, like, mulliganing heavily versus the Thoughtseize deck is also not a great way to go, generally speaking. This hand's kind of shit, but the Mindbreak Trap, I kind of just hope they go all in, and, you know. The Blast is not great here, obviously, either, but... Turn 1 Brainstorm definitely makes me feel A&T vibes. Okay. I mean, yeah, I used to shave Manabonds in these matchups, but... Well, yeah, in these matchups, but I think the way 8Mulch is constructed, you can't really do so. They shuffled off their Ponder. Boo. Probably gonna Manabond this turn then, especially if I draw another land. Like if I draw another mana source, Manabonding is definitely correct. No, I'll just try to kill them. I think it's better equity if they have Chain of Vapor. So be it. Wasting them doesn't do much except let them like have another turn with their mana. Like with a pet with like a blue land plus whatever. I think just putting them in check is better. I mean, if I'm dead, I'm dead. I'm not worried about it. Okay. Thoughtseize. Forest. Ball Ritual. Tendrils, Abrupt Decay. Passing Flames. Storm's 5. So they don't have red. Okay, that's probably good enough, sadly. I think it's pretty trivial. You can just go get Lion's Eye Diamond off of your Wish Claw, and it's lethal. Flusterstorm? Okay. So it would have turned out, I guess, given what they actually had, wasting them would have been good, but I generally don't like giving them turns. I think their turns are more valuable than my turns, essentially. Like, I think just putting them in check is generally better, and generally works out better. If I knew they had, like, a bunch of Chain of Vapors in their deck, I probably wouldn't. Like, then I would probably waste them, but I think generally speaking it's better to do what I did. Right, now that we have confirmation... do like shaving down on these Manabonds because they're not very good, honestly. We're getting flashback counterspell for the Mulch decks? I don't know. Probably never. If I had to guess. Spit. I have a ley line, but this hand doesn't do anything, so I'm just gonna mulligan. I think I'm better off going to 5. This hand's like dog shit too. I'm going to 4. Alright, I guess I keep. These and hope it's good enough. It probably won't be. But this way at least I can draw a Collector Oof or Life from the Loam or Mulch or something. But well, that's bad versus Thoughtseize, so... Like, they already showed me a bunch of Thoughtseizes, so I prefer not to do that. I think playing my land out is good, because if I draw Mulch, it's good to do this. Also, if I draw Collector Oof, it's just literally better to do what I did, I think, as well. If I didn't have Oof in my deck, I think what you said might be reasonable, but... How many engine cards did I sideboard out? Like, the Manabonds are dead, so I cut them. Actually, I have most of my Mulches and Loams in. Like, Loam is worse than Mulch here, obviously. Excellent. No, I don't think so. The reason to do it is Witchclaw Talisman, obviously, but I don't think it's correct to do it. Just not to shuffle, so I'm probably dead. So add Nauseam from 18. I was thinking about something, I don't remember what. Okay, so they can chain tutors to kill me? It's sad. I mean, this matchup fucking blows. Okay, cool. Well, that's tragic. I won game 1 versus A&T because they went to 4 cards, but then I lost the other 2 games. This matchup is not very good. You know, that's how it is. Okay, close that. Then I'm going to run a quick ad and we'll be back for the next 2 matches. So far, I think 2 of my matchups have been extremely bad and 1 matchup has been extremely good. And that's reflected in my record. So, alright, be back in 3 minutes. Thanks for being here, everyone. If you want to support the stream, hit that follow button. That's free to do. If you have a Twitch Prime sub, or you want to sub to support the stream normally, consider doing that here. Remember, Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime, you have 1 free one per month. Be right back in 3 minutes. Yo, what's up? Don't know what you mean FGC.
Do I have a badge now?
You do, you have a 14-month badge. It's a golden Snoopy. Thanks for being here. Appreciate the prime. What's up, Evan? We're 1 and 2, unfortunately, but you know, that happens. 2 really bad matchups for 8Mulch, and 1 pretty good matchup. We'll try to finish strong, but that do be legacy indeed. What else planned for today? I don't know. I'm gonna play something after this. I might actually end up playing Pioneer after this league. With like Lotus Field or something. Not sure yet. This hand's not good. Missing an accelerant. I think I'm just gonna keep though. Bottom of the Izzet. Rakdos League? No. Probably gonna play Lotus. Rona, combo variants, and Pioneer? I don't know. Oh, ironically, I cared the least about that. Also, if someone wants to donate for me to play a deck after this, I will accept it. Any deck, really. Modern, Pioneer, Vintage. I guess even Standard, I suppose, but... Don't like that, but... Okay... So, awkwardly, like, that is actually very good versus me, because I don't think... Without a waste, I can't actually kill them fast enough. But I also can't accelerate now, because they've walked out all my acceleration. Okay, sure. Like, so the problem is playing 1 land per turn is probably going to be too slow, especially in the face of Caracas. Did I lose the die roll? I did. Also, this game's maybe different if I'm on the play with an accelerant. Normally don't like complaining about die rolls, but this is a matchup where the die roll does matter a lot. Yeah, I'm kind of fucked now. Don't think I can actually get out of this because it's just lethal in 2. This is locked out by that. Problem is, like, drawing more cards doesn't do anything for some, because I'm basically dead as it is. If I had another untapped green source, I could Boseiju this unstep, but then I would still be dead through... Because I would be at 4, and they could attack with everything through the Lage, and I would be dead. So, good beats. It's fine. We will get better post-board. I think you can just beat them with Field of the Dead, if you're allowed to do your thing. Fog doesn't do anything. Can probably shave like a single Loam because people love to overload and graveyard. I'll shave 2 Loams and leave the depths in. Just getting an accelerant down before they chalice me is worth a lot. Like, this hand's excellent. But I'm just gonna play Manabond off Forest and say go. Okay. No. I think I'm just gonna waste this turn actually and burn crop rotation. Because if they didn't play if they didn't play a 1-drop, it's not likely they'll play anything this turn either. I guess I can rotation on my turn and see what I draw. Or I could rotation for a fetch. I could also rotation for Yavimaya, but that's soft to Wasteland. Really, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to cast Mulch and use Manabond. Well, I wanted to delay the decision, honestly, but now that they've done this, I'm just going to go get the forest. Sometimes they do. Like, I've seen Maniacs play Waste in this deck. I don't think they should, but I've seen some people do it. It's not great. I mean, I only cut 2 lands. Oh, that was an excellent draw. Okay. That was basically the ideal draw. Okay. Game 3 I'll be on the draw, which is somewhat problematic, but because I can't necessarily play an Accelerant underneath their Chalice. But I'm not sure I can really do much about it. I guess here's what I'll do. I'll put that back in and add a third Loam back in. Submit. Don't think I'm allowed to keep because of Chalice. Also, this hand's like not even that good. Alright. I'm like resilient. Kind of slow out of the gates, but I think that's just kind of what you sign up for. My best draw is like an Exploration or a Manabond, assuming they don't have Chalice. If they have Chalice, it doesn't even matter. Okay, come on. Ooh, baby. Caves of Chaos Adventure? Okay, it's fine. I do have Maze of It, thankfully. Yes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different land types. I think what I'm gonna do this game is probably... Oh yeah, but what do you want me to do about it? I can't really do anything about it. My plan is to overload with zombie tokens, probably. Cavern. Sure. So they can play Cavern for turn, force them to sack a land. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think what I'm gonna do is dredge Loam and hope to hit another, like... Basically, these are worth zombies, essentially. This is Palace Jailer. Okay. Protection from creatures, right? So does that mean I have to... I guess... Sure. I'll copy Maze of It now. Actually, what happens if I copy Field? Do I die? I have 1, 2, 3... No, the... Maybe it's copy Field angle. Because I can maze whatever creature gets protection from creatures. Okay, sure. Really? I didn't hit another land? Sucks. Hitting a third land there would have been very good. Right. Actually, maybe I'm fine. It kind of depends. So they draw a card? Oh no, I get trapped down to... No, they do draw a card. I can take the initiative, and I guess I would probably... I don't know what will happen. I guess I can, like, manage their board with the zombie tokens, too, which is kind of nice. They hit Touch the Spirit Realm. Okay, that's fine. No Mox. Okay. Okay. This is how powerful Field of the Dead is. Like, basically, it demolished them. Alright. Lose 1 win. Alright, we're playing for the 3-2. We've been on the draw every match as well, and we're 2-2. And 2 of the matchups have been heinous. Alright, goodbye. Again, thanks for everyone being here. Shout out to the person who donated for this deck, JFWW in the Discord, aka Liquid General. This is Moon Stompy, generally. Sucks. Alright, reluctant keep and hope it works out, but... Okay, that's fine. Chalice, Shatter Skull Smashing. Wait. Oh, they had exiled and then undid it. Because this is a turn 2 Lage situation being good enough. Forged. Question is, if I play around Dead Gone, I can't really afford to, I think. Okay. The copy is Caves. Which traps me down to 13, then I block that. Should be fine. I hit Fury and Fable, so I killed them on my turn. Alright. Got a free one. Was I in the draw that game too? I was actually, but my hand was pretty good if they didn't actually play a Blood Moon. Which they didn't, so we're thankful for that. I think I'm actually going to side in... Actually, no, probably not. Alright, Log can go. Field is like pretty awful, but I'll leave one in because of Surgical. And I'll cut like a Loam. Yeah, but the thing is, like, if I mulligan that hand, what am I even trying to accomplish? Like, I don't think most of my hands actually win. I think, like, I think you just have to keep and clench is the correct way of putting it. Flame Jad lets you beat Magus of the Moon. Sort of. It's like not great. They have 3 Dead Gone, huh? It's a lot of Dead Gones. This is a pretty easy mulligan, I think. This is much better. I think I'm going to bottom Manabond because it gives me more flexibility on how I actually want to cast my spells. Actually, I should bottom Mazavith, actually. Because I want to keep the extra green card for Force of Vigor. Knew that was gonna happen. Okay. This is why I don't cut mazes versus them, because they're actually pretty good versus initiative creatures to have maze to buy time. Fortunate. Only one land there is not great. Okay. I think I'm probably gonna lose to Caves if I had to guess, but see what happens. Caves of Chaos Adventure, rather. I only cited out one Loam in terms of engine cards, so I'm not even down that many, but... Okay. I feel like they should have attacked first, because they would hit that Magazine that they could have played, right? Sure. And cutting them off of the 4th mana is worth something. Do need to draw something good though, because I'm gonna lose. Like the thing is, like this just Howling mines them into more Blood Moons, which is a big problem. Jarvis smashing, sure. Loam would be good. I'm going to die to Den of the Bugbear? Maybe. I don't know. See what happens. Am I going to die to Throne of the Dead 3? Probably. I'm at 3 life, which is not great. Okay, lost. Actually, have I lost? 2... I guess it depends on what they hit. I'm not technically dead yet. But mostly drawing dead. Maybe I need field if I think they have so many dead gons. Inside out like Crocus and something else. I don't know. Probably gonna lose to Throne of Dead 3, though. Hit Ravel Master. They have 3-ball inverse me? Interesting. Maybe this is a play versus draw thing. Like on the play, Trinisphere is pretty good. I'll be at 1 after this, though, and I'm basically drawing dead after that. What's up? I'm not gonna show them that. Okay. Wizard squares are fine. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is actually cut down mazes. Even though they're sort of okay, but they're not great. I also think maybe I should cut Ghost Quarter and just leave all my win cons in. Hope it works out. Could maybe justify Collector Oof on the play to shut off Moxen, but I think that's like too loose. Yes. Seems pretty solid, actually. Maze is definitely the worst card here. Is Flame Jab good? I think it's a necessary evil versus Mags of the Moon in this matchup specifically. But in general, I do like it better than all of the other options. If that makes sense. It's not like if it's good or not, it's the question is, does it have some sort of utility that you can't replace elsewhere? I think the answer is yes. You don't only one land there kind of sucks, but... Curse Mirror has gone. The other thing about Flame Jab is that you can actually dredge into it, which is, like, maybe a thing people say too often, but it's not 0. You know? Coca. Alright, they have 1 card. So we draw an untapped land, I'm just going to present... Like an untapped mana source, I'm just going to present checkmate instead of doing anything else. I did curse it, didn't I? Field needed to be an untapped land there. I think I'm probably going to disrespect Dead Gone this game, because I don't think I can really win through it. I also don't really want to give them draw steps for Blood Moon as well. Transfer? Sure. Am I going to be dead? Actually, I might be dead. So I think I have to take a normal... I'll be at 7, I'll be at 2 from Trap. So I have to dredge, actually, I guess. It should be exactly at 1 life, but I'm... actually, it might be dead still. We'll see what they do, I guess. It's also why I don't really like going long versus them, because with Caves of Chaos Adventure, the game just gets really volatile, which is not fun for me, I would say. The problem is Trap does make the game really hard. Because I'm effectively at 2 then 1. I have to block... Oh, well, they didn't copy. So actually, they should have... I think they should have just copied that. Okay, that doesn't do it. So if they had copied this, they have 2 Tramplers. So I guess if their last card's Dead Gone, if they have Dead Gone in hand, I guess I lose, but that's fine. Of course. I tried my best. If they had that, they had me covered, so whatever. It's fine. Kind of unfortunate, but that matchup also kind of sucks. I mean, that's kind of the problem with 8Mulch in general, and with lands in general. I think it's kind of hard for the deck to get cards that push it in a more powerful direction. Whereas it's kind of easier for other decks that operate on other axes to get good cards to actually improve. Because I think they're not going to print broken lands. What's the best way of putting it? They're not going to print broken, like, 1-mana accelerants, broken, like, 1 or 2-mana engine cards, or the like. I don't know. It's just hard for the deck to improve, is what I would say. Whereas, like, MH2 has propped up a lot of other decks, like Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Fury. Those cards have improved Red Stompy. Whereas, like, if you look at this deck, well, the Channel Land doesn't really solve a lot of the problems. Like, the thing is, you're not going to change your fundamental turn by putting Channel Lands into this deck. Like, the way the deck operates, what a Channel Land is going to do is, like, act as, like, a really good interactive spell. Not act like a really good engine card. Like, it's okay to print powerful answers, I think, generally speaking. That's not going to, like, destroy things. Fury might be a little bit on the fringe of what's an acceptable answer. Same for Solitude. But, like, Boseiju, if you put Boseiju into this deck, it doesn't really inherently change how the deck functions. Whereas putting, like, Fable or Fury into Red Stompy does inherently change how the deck functions, you know? And that's my point. It's an observation, not a complaint, to clarify. Of course, you could also argue, well, did I play every match perfectly? Of course not. Like, that's ridiculous. I think even, like, the best players in the world would say they didn't play every match perfectly all the time. You know, mistakes are always made, and you kind of just accept that, and it's fine. Anyways, that is the donation. Thanks to Liquid Jinro. Kind of gonna decide what I should play next. I guess I'll run a poll. We're gonna pull for a few minutes. For like 10 minutes. Alright.